The Master of Cultural Economy is a new course at Monash which examines these new intersections between culture, government and industry. And we examined the rise of these new industries, their economic impact, but also more importantly, just as importantly, their cultural impact.
Cultural economy includes the arts, the cultural industries, the creative industries. It's a relatively new term, meaning the complicated ecology where culture and business, creativity and the economy meet. Cultural economy is important because it asks the hard questions. We've had global city branding, we've had the creative industries, all promising a brave new world. We ask some of the difficult questions around that. Are price rises in cities driving creatives out of cities? Are creatives being exploited? What happens to the communities who've been subject to regeneration? How are we going to make these things sustainable? Can we have a creative economy in 20 years' time? What happens to people in developing countries without access to the internet? What happens to those who work with their hands, the handicrafts, the artists? All these questions are excluded from some of the claims around the creative industries and creative cities. And we're going to ask on this course, if we're going to have a sustainable, meaningful cultural economy, what kind of things do we need to do to change it?
What's also exciting about this course is that we will make great attempts to reconcile theory with practice. So while you're in the classroom looking at contemporary cultural theory, we will also get you out of the classroom and making you hit the streets of particular cultural cities to see if the theory stacks up against contemporary practice.
So for example, on our program we have Shanghai City Lab, and for 2 weeks you immerse yourself in one of the world's global metropolises to find out what's going on under the surface. Who's making the culture? Who's managing it? How do they do it? How do they work in that city? Who are the communities that they engage with? And those are some of the things we'll be looking at in detail.
So the City of Melbourne is a fantastic place to study the Master of Cultural Economy. It's been ranked for the last 3 years in a global livability index as the most livable city in the world.
Our intention is to use the expertise right here on our doorstep. We've got Marcus Westbury, who single-handedly transformed the CBD of Newcastle into a vibrant artistic space from a dead zone.
Renew Newcastle started back in 2008, and basically, we'd sort of seen that there was a problem with a lot of empty spaces in the city of Newcastle. There's 150 empty buildings in the 2 main streets. And what we wanted to do was find a way to link that problem with an opportunity, which is there's a lot of small-scale creative enterprises in Newcastle looking for space to get started, and then over the last, 5 years, we've done nearly 130 projects, 55 buildings cleaned up in the city, and lots of projects, designers, filmmakers, fashion designers, visual artists, media makers have got to start doing what they do, and it's contributed to life and energy coming back to the city.
We've got people in planning, we've got people in architecture, we've got people who are trying to reinvent the museum sector for the contemporary world. So we've got a whole range of strong, active, practical people wanting to come in and share their knowledge with you.
SLAM was formed in 2010 around the single issue where live music was equated with violence. 20,000 people marched on Parliament House to change policy and further on change laws around liquor licensing. And SLAM was formed as a strong voice for the music community. It's now a national voice, and ultimately our aim is to reduce any barriers to live music so it can foster and be nurtured organically.
The role of SLAM in overturning laws which adversely affected live music venues is an important example of how culture, politics and policy intersect.
But we're very aware that the cultural economy is a global phenomenon. It's taking off not just in Europe and North America, it's taking off in Africa, in the Middle East, and of course in the new economies of East Asia. And this is one of the most exciting parts of our programme because we want to engage directly with that. We want to hear about your experiences in those countries. We want to mix that with our own knowledge and understanding and that of other students, so that when you go out there, you've got an awareness of the global tendencies, not just your own local concerns. So this programme gives you the skills and the understanding to liaise with, to talk to negotiate with these range of people in order to get your project off the ground and really begin to make a difference.